Hi, I'm Zach Blackburn. Welcome to Flexography. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to get this ink set up. So we have these two pins right here. They are what holds the ink pen in place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the pin, I lift it up, and I'm going to stick it through. If for some reason it doesn't want to go through, I need to just put a little bit of pressure and move the metering roller a little bit closer to the analogs. And now I bet you they'll go through nice and easy. Yeah, look at that. Woo! Simple. If it's any harder than what you're seeing right here, then twist these in a little bit closer. All right, so I got the ink pan in place. The next thing I want to do is I want to get my metering roller rolling. So there's this handle right here, and this is what turns the rollers on and off. So when I turn this one on, we can see that the analogs is rolling. Now the metering roller is not. And the reason it's not is because it has to come in contact with that analogs in order to roll. It rolls based on friction. Now one thing to keep in mind is that the roller is not wet with ink right now. So that friction, if I just brought these together dry and walked away, say I went and had lunch or something, got a cup of coffee, well, if I came back, there'd be a pile of shavings of that rubber meter roller right there. So we don't want to let this run dry for very long. But it's okay for a few moments while I'm getting set up. So it's rolling right now, so that's looking good. I'm now going to get my ink. I got my ink, and I'm just going to give it a little bit of a shake up over here. I'm not making a margarita or anything. I'm just kind of moving it around, you know. So it is shaking, but not like I'm trying to foam it up or anything. And that's why we don't want to get too crazy about it. I'm just kind of waving it back and forth. Because if we shake it super, super fast and hard, it'll just start foaming up, and we don't want that. So I just got it. Then I'm going to just pour it in, and I want to pour it in until it starts getting picked up by the metering roller, and then I'm going to stop. All right, there you go. I see it on the roller. As soon as I see it on the roller, I stop. Make sure to put the lid back on your ink. Okay, so this is where it gets a little bit, where you really got to pay attention to what's going on. So what I want to do is I want to make it so that the metering roller is transferring the ink to the analogs. So we've got a series of knobs down here. These right here are for the doctor blade. These right here on the bottom are for the metering roller. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the metering roller in contact with the analogs. And I can see that it's starting to pop up on there. And I'm trying to do it evenly. I want the ink to get on there as even as possible. So I'm twisting the knobs simultaneously. And look, I'm going to back that up. So we see how it looks darker and more rich over here. That means that there's more ink on this side than on this side. Now what I want it to look like is I want it to look like cranberry sauce coming out the can. Call this the cranberry sauce effect. It's that's a term I coined, but if you say it to just about anybody, they're gonna know what you're talking about. And I'll show you what I mean. So I want to adjust it so that there are ripples going all the way across. There we go. So you see how there's little tiny ripples going all the way across, and that's what I want to see. Now when I see that cranberry sauce effect, what's going on is that there's a large dump of ink going to the analogs roller. Now the analogs roller has these tiny cells all over it. And when I say tiny cells, I mean there's literally millions of cells all over that analogs roller. But those cells are filled up, plus there's extra ink on top of it. That's where the doctor blade comes in. It's going to scrape off the top of that cylinder, so that now only the ink that's down in the cells is actually making it to the analogs. So I take my doctor blade, and again I'm just going to twist it evenly. I hear that buzz. That buzz is telling me that there's contact. And it kind of sounds like, oh dear God, I'm destroying something. No, that's normal. There's a little plastic blade in there, and that little plastic blade is, it's gonna vibrate. It's just, that's the nature of it. But what I see here is a nice, clean, matte surface on that analog roller. And that's telling me that I have my ink set up properly. If for some reason I see a bunch of streaks, could be that my doctor blade needs to be replaced, might need to put a fresh one. But if it's a good doctor blade, it's gonna have a nice matte finish across. I also can see like what looks like little drips of ink on the metering roller, and that's the ink that literally is dripping off the back of the doctor blade down onto the metering roller. So that's how to properly set up a doctor blade ink system.